Here's a car which has stakes from automotive giant Stellantis and suspension tuned by Maserati, allegedly. Yup, you heard that right. Leapmotor is a world-renowned startup that was founded in 2015, and this one's actually good value for money too. Psst, I actually think it kind of resembles a Porsche Cayenne from some angles. What do you think? Drop a comment down below and let me know. Anyway, this is the C10 and it comes with a 69.9 kilowatt hour LFP battery, made it to a 160 kilowatt rear mounted motor that pushes the car forward with 320 newton meters of torque and gives an estimated range of about 420 kilometers on a single charge, give or take. The top speed of this car is actually 170 kilometers per hour and it achieves 0 to 100 in 7.5 seconds. Not that I think you'll be doing that with a family size SUV. But that's not all. As for practicality, it actually comes with V2L, which means it supports a maximum output of 3.3 kilowatt. And as for ground clearance, if you're curious, it has 190 mm of ground clearance, even for a car of this sized wheelbase. Quite impressive. As for the boot at the back, it's 435 liters, but you can fold down those rear seats in that traditional 60:40 ratio, which will up its capacity to 1,410 liters, which is more than ample for everything. And if you ask me for the added bonus, it's actually got 17 entire ADAS features if you're into that sort of thing. So, as for charging, the port is at the back here, and Leapmotor Nepal do provide a 2 kilowatt slow granny charger, and by slow I mean it's a almost 70 kilowatt hour battery, so at the rate of 2 kilowatts an hour it's going to take you above an astronomical 30 hours for a 0 to 100 charge. CCS type 2, by the way. And luckily Leapmotors Nepal do provide a 7 kilowatt fast AC charger, which means that it will do a 0 to 100 in about 8 to 9 hours, so roughly an overnight. Luckily, this car does accept up to 11 kilowatts of fast AC charging, which will drop that time further. And because this car is built in a 400 volt architecture, it can actually take in up to 84 kilowatts of fast DC charging, which means the company claims that it can technically do 30 to 80% on the highway in roughly 30 minutes, but we all know it's a bit longer than that, don't we? Anyway, I think that's been enough numbers, quite a lot actually. So let me hop onto the driver's seat now and see what this car is all about. You can see the bonnet and you immediately know that this is a large road presence car. I'll talk more about these beeps and bongs in a while. And the engine hum below 20 kilometers per hour is very evident. But keep in mind its size. It's just shy of 2 tons. And so it's not the fastest thing on the block, but it's in no way underwhelming in power either. Speaking of modes on this car provides 4 modes: an eco mode, a comfort mode, a sport, and a custom mode. Custom allows you to switch things around like motor output and then your regenerative braking intensity and then your steering sensitivity. And mind you, there is like a proper difference when it comes to handling in these 4 modes. Oh, And there's a tow mode, by the way, if you want to hitch on a trailer at the back and pull. This car comes with 4 disc brakes, and braking is quite relaxed, honestly, but still quite comfortable and capable. It comes with 3 regenerative modes, which actually are automatically changed when you change between Eco, Comfort, and Sport mode. I'm happy to report that none of them are too intrusive, and ground clearance feels quite ample. The highlight of this car, though, is this supposedly tuned suspension system. It just glides through bumps. But it's not all rainbows and sunshine. I'm sure you've been hearing the beeps and bongs since I started this segment. There are a plethora of safety devices on this car. Everything from attention span, where I yawn and I get a notification on this saying the driver is tired, please take a break, to speed sensors that's been going on and off non-stop. And even when speed limits are changed, that's alerted too. Too many, and I would rather have most of them off. And while it's easy to just swipe them all off when you get on in the car, they automatically turn back on, which is such a bummer each time you turn off the power. Luckily though, the company claims that there's a software update coming that'll fix all of these issues. Thank God. And let me also touch upon the lack of buttons on this car. Very minimal, but I have to look at this screen for everything. And it's quite a steep learning curve, albeit a quick learning curve, thanks to this very simple UI. And even for such a big car, the efficiency was pretty decent. Check out these numbers at the end of my testing. Pretty cool, right? This car is very simple, elegant, and not over styled. Let's start off at the front, where you have hydraulic arms to lift up your massive bonnet, wiper fluids, your fuse box, your 12-volt battery to handle all the internal appliances, hydraulic fluids for the brake and cooling, AC to DC converter, orange wires are for high voltage, and a radiator to suck in cold air for your AC purposes. Let me close this and start off with the Leap Motor badge right on top. From the front, you have your front sensors on top there, and then you have more at the front here. You do have a radiator opening and side vents that actually are functional. Your headlights are a full treatment of LED for both the DRLs and headlamps. And by the way, these headlights are actually angle adjustable. And then coming to the side, you have your tires. These are massive 245/45 R20s. Check out my Citroen EC3 review if you want to know what those numbers mean. And a really nice touch by Leap Motor is that they have provided quality Dunlop tires for the win. Coming back up, you have electronically foldable and adjustable mirrors. Also, your windows are tinted green in the front and black at the back. Why? To keep out UV rays. And let me tell you, when you're on the highway, especially in the sun, this makes all the difference when it comes to keeping that inside cabin cool. On top, you have a massive panoramic glass roof with a shark fin antenna at the back, and then a pretty chunky looking C-pillar with another glass panel at the back. And then coming towards the rear of the car, you have a proper Leap Motor badging. Looks very clean back here, and some hidden features. You actually have a rear wiper that's hidden on top instead of down below here. And do you know, can you spot where the trunk opening button is on this? It's actually underneath the tail bar, that button there. You have your rear proximity sensors and one of the other 360-degree cameras, along with reflectors on either side of the car. And to end this up, your rear charger port is here. All right, as for the interiors on this car, flush handles that hide away. you're really comfortable and cozy inside the C10. It's very clean and uncluttered. The interiors come in two options, one a beige brown tan sort of color, and two this darker purple shade. I think this one might be the better and easier to maintain. And you actually have different interior modes, a camp mode, a nap mode, and a guard mode that you can all look through. And you have ambient lighting all across your dashboard as well as your doors. And when you shift the car into like reverse and there are things around, your proximity sensors start blinking, so do the ambient lighting. Quite a nice touch. And I think something that I've been raving about is this seat. It's a silicone leather composite material, super soft touch. These are ventilated and cooled and heated at the front, by the way. And they just really hug you nicely. Really wraps around your body well. Honestly, one of the best seats I've sat on. And as for the driver's seat, there are a couple of touch capacitive buttons here, just like a Tesla on the left and right hand side that can be programmed, but the right hand side is more media buttons, the left hand is more control buttons. You have a 10.25-inch driver's display, and the steering wheel can be heated, by the way. See? You also have a lever to push your steering wheel inside and outside. It's got good amount of adjustment. And your driver's display displays your needed information, your drive mode, your range, your odometer, your stats. I'll have a whole video of this in another video, by the way. And on the left hand side of the stock, you have your indicator and your wipers. There you go. And on the right hand side, you have your gear stock. Up is reverse, down is drive, and then P is when you press the button out here. You also have a fair bit of buttons and soft touch points on the door handle. One touch buttons for your windows, and then a pretty big bottle holder down here. Also, the bottle holders in the middle are not as big, so you'll need slimmer profile bottle holders, but they're good enough. And other than these buttons, though, there really aren't a lot. It's a lot of minimal buttoning on the inside, and Leapmotors have attested that it is a cost-saving measure done. Your driver's seat is also electronically adjustable. So front, back, and your recline angles, and also your height. You also have memory options here where you can save different profiles on the driver's seat. And as for the center console that I've been showing you, it's got a 14.6-inch floating center console with an onboard Snapdragon chip to run this. It's a custom Leap OS and it's super high res, let me add on to that. Provisions for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto will have to wait for a software update in the meantime. But it's paired with a 12-speaker sound system that has a very open profile. The car comes with a dual zone climate control where you can have different, and then a 2.5 PM air filter is also embedded here. As for charging, you do need to put your NFC card here to activate the car, but this is your wireless charger. And then you do have two more ports, a high-powered 60-watt USB-C and a USB-A down there for charging your devices. Small cup holders, and then this one is actually a large cubby in the middle. Up top, you do have a manually adjustable rear glare block mirror, and then your emergency lights here, your SOS button, your interior lights, and here is your sun blind opener and closer for your massive panoramic roof. High leap motor. Open the sunshade. Also, this at the moment has been programmed to move the passenger door. Why would you want to like reach out all the way? You can just do this. Pretty nifty, right? All right, and as for your rear seats, same build quality at the back to your tweeters and speakers, windows, and it's a completely flat floor bed, really cushioned seats. Your rear seat can actually be adjusted for a bit of recline, like if you see this difference here. And it's got, let me show it. Like it's got really long cushion for good under thigh support, flat floor bed, good amounts of headroom, as well as shoulder room. Knee room is like almost plain level business class stuff. Footwell room is ginormous, even if you're sitting in the center seat. And then you have a center armrest at the back here. I'm sure you noticed there aren't any cup holders here, and that's because they're here. 2 tinier size cup holders, AC vents, 2, one for each side of the car. And then you have a USB-C and a USB-A charge outlet in case you want to charge any of your devices. Also, forgot to mention, in addition with 3 headrests, 3 seat belts, you also have 2 ISOFIX points at the back. Let me begin by reiterating that I still think this car is great value for money if this falls in your budget. And here's why. I got into this car not knowing how well and refined it would be. I was basically thinking it'd be very unfinished. Leap Motors as a company, in the grand scheme of things, just started producing and selling cars since 2019. But the more I drive it, the more it grows on me. It's a big car with tons of features, and while it's quite simple looking and elegant on the outside, the insides feel super posh and family friendly. It's got a big road presence and an even bigger interior space. Oh, and fun fact, did you know? They actually built the chassis on this vehicle with safety in mind. The torsional stiffness on this is phenomenal. But above all, I'm at a point in reviewing cars where I think the handling matters to me more than how fast it can actually go. And while I can't attest for Maserati's tuning for their European roads here in South Asia with our bumpy potholes and rough patches randomly scattered, it does feel really, really, really refined. Soaking in these bumps, McPherson strut suspensions at the front and multi-link at the back. Dampening is smooth and recoiling is very controlled. Given its weight, even when I increase the speed, it really doesn't roll around in here. And today, I actually took this car all the way from Kathmandu to Panauti, which is about 30 kilometers or so, through our rough road, broken highways, and I had such a pleasure because of this car's soft suspension. That 190mm clearance just gave me enough confidence to like pummel through broken spots, unpitched spots, unlike this road. And the suspension just handled it all like a champion without any complaints. Overall, it made Nepal's even broken highways a little less challenging and a little more comforting. Anyway, let me know what you thought about the Leap Motor C10. Drop a comment down below and I'll see you on the next one.